This is the beginning of a 3-day backpack, and we're starting at something called the Daniel Boone Camp. It's a Boy Scout camp where they have overnight parking, and we are going to through hike the Art Loeb Trail. And then at the end of this video, there will be some knitting, and probably during the hike tonight. See you soon. Here we are on the top of Black Balsam Knob, 6,200 feet elevation on the Art Loeb Trail. And it's a nice bald up here. We are not going to camp up here even though it's getting a little later. We still have enough daylight left to get down to, there's a nice little wooded area because it is going to be windy tonight. And we don't want to be exposed, but there's a lot of people that camped up here who want to get that sunrise and sunset, but I've seen a lot of those and I just want to be warm. Whew. Okay, here we are. We're on the top of Tennant Mountain. This is 6,040 feet. And as you can see all the way around, 360-degree view. It's amazing. Sun's a little low in the sky. We've got about maybe an hour to go to set up. It's our first night on the Art Loeb through hike. Here's my setup. It is a hammock. I've got a tarp, Dyneema tarp, very lightweight. Hammock with spreader bars, not lightweight. And it's what I call my bedroom when I'm on the trail. Didn't always use a hammock. For many, many years I used a tent, but this is working out for me. The area around us is so beautiful. Okay, here is how I pack my belongings. I have everything on a piece of lightweight plastic, and I set it all out, and then I just stuff it in, starting with the sleeping bag at the bottom and working my way out, and somehow it all fits. Here's the part where I am putting in my bear canister. This was required because part of the area was in a wilderness area, and so hanging the food isn't enough. It has to be in a bear canister, and it worked really well. They just built a new shelter here, so we got to test it out. But some of our group stayed there, but I stayed in my hammock. It's more comfortable. We're on day 3 of the Art Loeb through hike, and we're just about done. We have 8 miles to go, and we're having lunch at the Chinese restaurant in Brevard. Hey, welcome to the knitting portion in Judy's studio. Let me talk about what I was knitting on the trail. So this is a sock that I was doing. I keep it in this lightweight bag because, of course, you don't want to be carrying a lot of extra weight when you're backpacking. And this is approximately 60 or 70 grams, maybe more with the needles. But it's made with this really sparkly, fun yarn that I think I got as a gift from someone. But it's a Canon Hand Dye, which is a beautiful, beautiful yarn to work with. and someday I will finish it, but I'm not in a hurry because I saved that project for when I'm backpacking. And I had quite a bit of time to, on the second day, it rained a little bit, and we had some time in the camp, and so I did a lot of knitting on that sock. Another thing I'm working on that I don't bring backpacking is a cardigan, and it's from this really rustic but soft yarn. It's got some cashmere and some yak in it, and it's from a company called ULA and LIA, and I believe it's some kind of a nonprofit. Maybe you've heard of them. They've been around for a few years, and it's out of Mongolia, and there's a discussion group on Ravelry I've got to look at and see what that's about, but it's a beautiful yarn. I've had it for a couple of years, and it's probably the oldest thing in my stash right now. I'm not a big stasher, so I'm doing neutrals too, because it seems like I wear a lot of bright colors. I like the colors of nature, bright green, vibrant blues, sky blues, the watercolors, and they're bright. So I'm looking for neutrals lately. So that's what attracted me to this. And it's a lace weight and fingering weight, held double. It makes a nice effect, and supposedly doing that cuts down on pilling, but I'm not sure, but it's a good theory. Another thing that I'm knitting is still the lace shawl. If you watched my first episode, I was showing this off, and I'm making a lot of progress, but when you're knitting with these cobweb weight, it doesn't look like much. And it won't look like much because it's lace, it's all bunched up until I get it off the needles and block it, and then the pattern will show through. But I'm just amazed. You really can't see it. I'll just wait and show it to you when it's done. But I'm having a lot of fun, and it's getting kind of heavy because it has these glass beads. And I have a friend who's knitting it as well. And I just want to say, Lucy, I think I'm gaining on you. I'm hoping to finish this in the next month or two. A little friendly competition. But it's fun to do, and it's something challenging with another friend or with a group, because then when you run into something that you don't understand, you have a group you can think and try to figure out what the symbol is on the chart, or what that new kind of lace technique. So anyways, I am also doing a little crochet, and hold on. This is with a different kind of yarn. It's a viscose polyester thing. I do like to use natural fibers, but the polyester makes this washable and foldable. Can take it, put it in the beach bag, or go to the pool, and it's washable. It's a yarn from Lion Brand called Rewind, and it's a tape. It's kind of strange. I've never knit with something like that, but I like it. And I think that's all the projects I have in front of me. I did want to talk a little bit more about what happened on our trip. So here is an elevation map. Give you a little bit of an idea of what we did. So we started here and we went up, and we were over 6,000 feet, which is beautiful. You saw the pictures, they're breathtaking. And it's just different weather up there. It's always a little cool and windy. It's a nice place to go on a hot day, but it wasn't a hot day. So it was when we were moving, it was very comfortable, but it did get chilly at night. We ended up going into camp in the dark. We set up camp at dusk, and then by the time we got our water, we had to go a little further than we thought for water, and we got back to camp, and I just do boiling water, put it in a bag, and eat it 5 minutes later. A little dehydrated meal that I made myself. I have a dehydrator, and it just felt so good to get in my hammock and snuggle down. It was cold, but it was comfortable in the hammock. And then in the morning, we tried to get up and out pretty early, but I had a little complication. I misplaced my bear canister. It was my first time having to use a bear canister, and I had heard that you're supposed to put it in between the roots of a tree. Well, don't do that, because I couldn't remember which tree, and there were hundreds of trees in this conifer forest where we were at. So Luckily, one of my friends is really good at finding things, and she found it. And I'm sure she looked in the same place I did, but it popped out and she noticed it. So I was so happy to see that bear canister because it had my breakfast and my coffee. So otherwise, there were no complications. I just everything else fell into place. We had the second day, we had a little bit of issues with rain, but it ended up not being too bad. It came right when we stopped for water, so we were in a hurry. We just grabbed water, and half of our group went ahead, the other half stayed, and we filtered our water and then caught up with them and hiked in the rain for about 3 hours, but it was a gentle rain. It wasn't too cold, and half the time we didn't even need ponchos. We just had pack covers, and by the time we made it to where we were going to camp, we ended up going to the only shelter on the Art Loeb Trail, which is called Butter Gap Shelter, and it was new. I didn't sleep in the shelter. I had my hammock, but a couple people stayed in there, and it had a nice pine smell. We did have a fire that night, and we met up with a guy, Dan. I don't know if he had a trail name, but Dan, if you're out there, hi. We had a fun time. He cut a lot of wood. We had a nice roaring fire, and it was good to meet new people. And then the third day was really kind of warm, and we didn't want to carry a lot of weight, so each of us only had 1 liter of water. And I will say, I think I got a little dehydrated because it was downright hot. It was in the high 70s, and we made it into Brevard just in time for lunch. The first place we wanted to go, Chinese restaurant, we'd been looking forward to it for days. We were hungry, and it was closed because who knew? Tuesdays, they're closed. So the next place we went, a mile down the road, we found the Brevard Diner, and that was open. It was wonderful. There was something for everyone. I was the vegetarian of the group, so I had my veggie wrap and French fries, and someone else had a burger, and another person got chicken. So, and of course we had cheesecake for dessert. So it was a great meal, and it was fun to end the hike in the restaurant there, and then come home, get cleaned up, and then it's taken me a while to edit this video. I promise I'm going to get into my once a week, and stay tuned because my next video I'm going to be having some kind of a giveaway. It will be for subscribers. So all you have to do is go down and hit the subscription button, and either the thumbs up or the thumbs down if you enjoyed the video or not. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm really enjoying getting this out there and all the comments that people have left. Please leave me comments if you're a knitter about what you're knitting, and whether you are doing something that's a challenge for you right now. Be sure to show it off, mention the pattern. And I also want to hear from you who are hikers, or whether you do both. Are you a knitting hiker? So I'm hoping to have a community of us knitting hikers, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the subscribers grow. And so that's all for now, but stay tuned. There'll be another video coming up soon with my next hike, and I really enjoy seeing all of you. Bye.